So in late 2009, we hired the services of a gentleman by the name of Mike Mullis. Many of you may know Mike. He's has brought quite a few businesses to the state of Kentucky. But he helped us. He brought us, his first report was 50 locations throughout the United States. And I have to say, by the end of the day of going through all those locations and looking at the pros and cons, we were dizzy. But we narrowed it down to 5 locations. And the story I love to tell is I'm here with Mike Kane. Mike Kane has a director of finance by the name of Mike Floskis. We had a gentleman running the project by the name of Mike Bergharter. And of course, you heard me mention the name Mike Mullis. So when we went to these 5 different states and visited with the local officials and economic development groups, we walked into the room anonymously and introduced ourselves as Mike, 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 and John. So I'm John. And that was easy for everybody to remember me. There were many options, and we looked at 50 and narrowed it down to 5. And I have to tell you, all 5 had their pros and they had their cons. But where it boiled down to us was really about the people. Not only the people that we felt we could get employed in our organization and train and develop. And most importantly, the most important thing I do in my job day to day is to preserve this amazing culture of Tiffany & Company. There is no other company like this, and I have to stress this. So we had to find a location where we felt that spirit, that culture could be preserved and cultivated. So that was really, believe it or not, you push all the demographics aside, the real estate values, the cost of construction, you push all that aside, it really boiled down to us being really about the people and ensuring that we could hire people that would understand what this amazing brand, this amazing culture was all about. And that's what we ended up focusing on. So our 5 were narrowed down to 1, and I think, it's also, I tell the story that after a 5-city journey, we were all tired at the end of the week, and we had landed, our last visit was in Lexington, and we walked into the Griffin Gate, and I pulled Mike, and myself together, and we sat down, and we had a drink, and I said, all that information aside, something feels good about Kentucky. Something feels good about Lexington. The arts, the values, the people that we've met, the sincerity we felt during the process. And so that's when we began the process of looking much, much deeper at Kentucky. So our experience really to date, from the top down, I have to say, I've spent a great deal of time with your governor, Governor Beshear, and First Lady Jane Beshear. They have been amazingly accommodating and become good friends of Tiffany. We spend a great deal of time with Larry Hayes and his organization. And then certainly the group in Lexington that I must, besides the mayor at the time, who was just terrific for us, the economic development group in Lexington, Commerce Lexington, did an amazing job. And, as I said, I spoke about the people of Kentucky, the hospitality of Kentucky. It was really demonstrated through the Commerce Lexington group. And I'll give you an example. Greeted at the airport, shown around the city, pulled all key business leaders together to talk about what Lexington means, what it's all about. And that's all great. A lot of those other locations did that for us too, but they stuck with us. When we hit some road bumps, they were right there with us. When we started hiring and bringing people on board, we had a small cocktail party welcoming some of the new employees. They were there to shake hands, to meet the new employees. And I'll give you another example. When we transferred only 2 people, because we're hiring all people from Kentucky, when we transferred those 2 people down, they met with those 2 people, showed them apartments, places where they could live, and had a barbecue at at Jenna Greathouse's house for these 2 people, welcoming them to Lexington. Just an amazing experience from the top through. So I think, as Mike said, we're very, very excited about what's happened thus far. The 90 people we have working have done an incredibly great job for us. When we're in the new factory, we expect to build that staff to 125 people. We have the ability through our planning process to double the size of that facility should the demand warrant that, and should we continue to have great success. We see now Lexington, Kentucky being a critical point of our operations as we move forward. We're very, very excited about where we've come from and where we're going to. So with that, I'd be pleased to answer any questions, try to answer any questions you may have.
Excellent information. Yes, Representative Palumbo.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.